Sharon and I pay our respects to the Adinu people as the traditional owners of the lands in which we're travelling. We also pay our respects to elders past and present, and I really hope you enjoy this movie. Creepy, man. Do you know how that was created? I'll tell you later. Hey, baby. There's Uluru over there. Pretty good canyon, darling.
Beautiful.
That thing. So we might have a conversation about that thing. The rock. Do you know how it got here? Well, a couple of things that we've learnt, both before and getting here, is first of all, where we're sitting right now used to be an ocean. But millions of years before it was an ocean, it was a 7,000 metre mountain range. And that mountain range got washed around with the erosions over the last ice ages, and all of the rocks and silt and that off that mountain range turned into sandstone. So that sandstone, like we have around Sydney, laid at the bottom of the ocean, and that's the remnants of it. So it's been a mountain that's been eroded away until it became a seabed, and then that seabed has been eroded away until only that and the algas, which are just over there too, but we'll see them tomorrow, are left. It's just amazing. A bit more, because these are sand dunes, and sand dunes are wavy. They go like this everywhere, and I'll show you from the air. But there's also some mounds that have been made that look like sand dunes, except they're dead straight. They're not sand dunes. They were actually created through tectonic plate movement, you know, earthquakes and that type of thing. We'll have a look at that later online. So we have another chat just about sand dunes. We're actually looking at sand dunes right now. There's one here, as you can see, it goes along the flat. There's the sand dunes. And then there's another one over there somewhere, and you can probably see them going back that way too. But the thing about sand dunes here is that they're covered in spinnaker with these grasses, which stops them blowing around like they do in the Simpson Desert, which is pretty cool. We also happen to be here still looking at the algas in the background, and if I can get it right, Uluru over there. So we know that and that are also connected underground 2.5 kilometres down. That sandstone goes all the way from Uluru That's what we're going to, baby. The walk back, we're walking up there between those knobs. It's beautiful. So now we're going to do that canyon. Hey babe.
We are.
Can't remember what it's called, but it's just up through there.
Isn't it Valley of the Gorge or something gorge?
Yeah.
We'll let you know.
So I wanted to talk about the difference between Olgas and Uluru, or Tatajuka, something like that. I haven't quite got the name right yet, and Uluru. So the Olgas are made of conglomerate. See down here? It's all just little tiny rocks all stuck together. So you know when you go on a riverbed, and some sections of the riverbed where the water runs fast are just big rocks, and then when the water flows down you just get all the sand? That's the difference between the Olgas and Uluru. Uluru is the sand part of the mountain range that was 500 million years ago that it was created, 7,000 feet, eroded down to the bottom of a sea level, which is then rugged. Beautiful canyons. A bit wow, isn't it?
It is a bit wow. I thought I'd get it off me. I'm still.
We're in the Valley of the Winds. And it's
As
windy.
you can tell by my hair.
That's higher than the Eiffel Tower. Wow. Here we are, dinner. Cheers.
Cheers.
So an arid desert is this area, 250 to 300 mils of rain a year, which is not a lot, but can you believe how much vegetation there is? We've also seen plenty of animals. Yes, wild camels. I hopefully get to see those. We've seen lizards, we've seen skinks, and we've seen earless dragons. There's an earless dragon just here. We've seen lots of bird life. We haven't seen wallabies, but we know they're around. We've got some burrows that we've found. We'll have a look at them now. We think they were bilbies. They were either bilbies because there was no tail track from the lizards, the big 2.5 metre lizards that live out here. So we think it was bilby. We've asked around, nobody really can tell us. It could be, it may not be. Have a look at this picture of a bilby, the tracks, and the burrows that we've seen as well. The universe is about 13.5 to 14 billion years old. Just for you kids to know that. This Earth is about 3.5 to 4 billion years old. That rock is 500 million years old. It's gone through a great life. It was once a mountain range that was pushed up for movement of tectonic plates under the Earth in the mantle, going like this, pushing it up. And then as you can see, the lines in the rock where the sediments fall, because it is made of sandstone, it's gone fallen over. That's why you can see the lines running that way rather than the sedimentary lines that way. The second thing is Uluru is made of sandstone. It's this stuff, really fine little red sandstone. The reason it's red, it's got high concentrations of iron. I can't remember what it's called. Acus or something like that is the type of rock that it is, which is just a sandstone that's gone red because the iron has rusted in it. It's oxidised and gone red. Uluru, on the other hand, as we talked about the other day, and I don't know which one of these will go in, is made of sedimentary rocks. So it's all the big rocks. Some of them are this big, some of them this one. So you can see that as the mountain range eroded away, obviously the water must be running this way from the alders back this way, for the simple reason that the big rocks are up there and the sandstone is here. If you think about a river, when the water's running fast, the big rocks sit there and they get curved and turn into balls, and the sand's on where the water slows down and curves around. That must have been where the water's slowed and curved around. Where'd the water come from? You've heard about ice ages. That's where it come from. Hundreds of metres of ice ages that melted in the Younger Dryas, which was about 11.5 to 12,000 years ago. Younger Dryas is when meteor struck the Earth, explosions everywhere, created an ice age at that time, which potentially created an ice sheet all over the northern hemisphere. Around Africa was a band of wonderful jungle, the Sahara Desert now. Just 5,000 years ago it was still in the tropical zone because it's shifting places too. I was going to talk about those black lines running down the rock. They're not different types of rock. They're actually algae. When the water runs down, the algae forms on those black lines, and every time it rains, that's where the water runs, puts more moisture into them. They dry out and go black and stain the rock. That's all those black lines are. We're in a desert, semi-arid desert, 250 to 300 mils of rain a year. That's not a lot when you think about how much you get in the Gold Coast or even in Muswellbrook. No such thing as flies out here, by the way. They're tiny little buggers and they're very sticky, but they're not too bad today. They haven't been too bad while we've been here. They get a lot worse, apparently. One of the things that I wanted to talk about was, I can't see any here, was the desert oaks. So I'll get some pictures of desert oaks. Oh, there's one right behind us over there. This one is one. There's another one over, no, that is actually a mulga bush. Second hardest tree in Australia, second hardest redwood after the red gum. But that one is a desert oak. And the funny thing about them is when they're juvenile, they just look like a feather duster. And when they finally, their root system, which goes down up to 80 metres, hits the water table, then they start branching out and become quite big, like those ones over there. Also, when they're juvenile, their leaves have got little barbs on them, and these barbs catch any water so that it doesn't run off and drip onto the ground. As they get older, they don't have barbs anymore, and the leaves are really smooth. Quite unusual. I'll get some photos of those and show you those as well. So what we're just talking about, this one is a juvenile desert oak with the little barbs, like that photo I just sent you. And this one, they don't even look like the same tree, is a mature one that root systems found the water table. So that's about our Uluru trip. We had a great time. Recommend anyone come out to the heart of Australia and see the world's biggest monolith. I can't even say monolith now. The world's biggest rock, Uluru, Ayers Rock, known by both names. The Olgas, Catatuta, known by both names. I'm having so much trouble talking today. I probably haven't had a beer in hours. We've had a great time. Recommend it to everybody. Get out here.